Hello lovely people. If you've been watching Ground Cinnamon, you would know I love breakfast. And today I've got another breakfast recipe. It's from Lebanon. It's called a Fetteh. Now a Fetteh is rich, it's scrumptious. It's not limited to Lebanon. There is an Egyptian, Tunisian, a Syrian version, and they get pretty complicated. The reason I'm making a Lebanese version is because it is extremely simple and you could improvise as you go. Let's get started. So making a Fetteh is really easy. There's hardly any cooking, it's mostly assembly. But there's a little bit of prep to do, and I'm going to start with the pomegranate. The easiest way to deseed a pomegranate is to split it into two and whack it. Next, we need some tahini. So in this pan I have 1/4 of a cup of mildly toasted sesame seeds. Look at the color, it's just a couple of shades darker. This will go straight into a food processor. Blend it till you see it release its own oil. Once you see that, season it with say about a teaspoon of salt. Add a couple of tablespoons of oil. Blend again. Tahini ready. The next ingredient for a Fetteh is some labneh, and I will have a detailed episode on how to make labneh. For now, just remember it's essentially just hung yogurt. Here is a cup of chickpeas. They've been soaked and later boiled until completely tender. A bunch of fresh mint. Some mixed seeds. You could also use nuts. You could also toast them or leave them as is. They're going to be tasty regardless. Of course, lots of garlic and a little bit of lemon juice. So the hung yogurt. Season it well with some salt before you add some tahini. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons, but how much tahini really depends on how much you like tahini. Now this is Mediterranean food, and of course there's going to be lots and lots of garlic. Chop it up real fine and add it to your labneh. Now depending on how sharp you like your labneh, you could add a little bit of lemon juice, less than a teaspoon or so. After which you want to rest this for all the flavors to mature. Now the body of the Fetteh is gonna come from the pita. This cannot be regular pita, it has to be crispy pita. So you have a couple of options. You could either toast this until fully crispy, or you could deep fry it. And yes, I chose to deep fry it. So cut your pita as you like it. If you're going to toast it, you could toast it whole and crush it later. If you don't have pita, regular white bread works. Now remember to keep this oil at a high temperature. If not, this bread is going to drink up all that oil. When it comes to frying any bread, you want to fry it on both sides. Also, you want to pull it out when it's lightly golden. What is going to happen is it's going to carry over cook and it's going to get darker with time. And now, bonus alert, I'm going to show you how to make some garlic chips. Start off by slicing your garlic real thin. Now, ideally we'll start this in some cold oil and let the garlic come to temperature with the oil. But what I'm going to show you is called overconfidence. Yeah. Now remember to pull it out when the garlic gets slightly colored. It will carry over cook and the color will be perfection after that. So believe it or not, this is it. This is all the prep you need to do, and now it is all about the assembly. So get yourself a platter and first go in with your fried or toasted pita bread. I don't like fried bread, said nobody. Next comes the chickpeas. Now the chickpeas, if you like, you could deep fry them, dust them in a little bit of paprika. But this is breakfast and I want to keep it light on the spice. Now add a layer of that beautiful hung yogurt you just made. Now what some chefs do is toss the pita chips in the yogurt and coat every single chip with the labneh. But honestly, this is more fun. Now what is amazing is the labneh itself. It's silky, it's creamy, it's toasty, it's garlicky. In short, awesomeness. On this, some pomegranate. The pomegranate really balances out the whole dish. A few nuts or seeds to add some good fat. It's also going to enhance the overall texture. Garlic chips. What do I say about garlic chips? They are simply addictive. And finally, some fresh mint. Uh-huh. I know you want that for breakfast. So Fetteh, I look at it as texture heavy. You have some crunchy coming from the pita chips. You have the silky smooth yogurt, and the nuts add another kind of crunch and a richness, a fatty richness. You have the pomegranate seeds. That is something else. Those tiny bursts of happiness. So a Fetteh is a lot of fun to eat. Now I spoke of a couple of variations. So in your Syrian version, you would, in between your yogurt and your chips, you would add some ground beef, some roasted off beef. In the Egyptian version, you would add some aubergine. The aubergine is poached in tomato sauce, and that would go in between your yogurt and your pita chips. So there's a lot to do with the Fetteh. It's also pretty healthy. That is, if you don't fry the chips like I did and toast them. So do try it at home. And if you've liked this recipe, and if you've been liking what I've been doing, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.